In this video, the 5 highlights of the Virgin Voyages Valiant Lady Celebration Voyage, starting with Sir Richard Branson. Sir Richard came onto the ship early in the morning on the Bimini Day. He came for one day only, joined us on the ship. We had an opportunity to meet with him. Thank you to the Virgin Voyages team for allowing us to share our exciting news with him. And then he joined all the sailors at the Bimini float-on pool party, in which he sprayed everybody with champagne, which was super fun. And then he jumped into the pool, and they even pushed Nirmal, the CEO, into the pool as well. That was really, really fun. 4 more highlights and a review of this voyage coming up. And if you're new here, ahoy, I'm Christine Lozada. I love Virgin Voyages. I'm making this video because in case you missed it, I want to catch you up on what happened. And also, if you're considering there's only one Celebration Voyage next year in 2026, this will help you decide if this is the right voyage for you. Don't forget, I want you to book your sailing with us. We have a better deal than booking direct, a better deal than booking while on the ship, and we beat other travel agents. We've got the best deal, helpful content, and we got you every step of the way. So be a smart traveler and check the info in the description. Let's dive in with this second highlight, which is I knew that the Virgin Voyages team, like the corporate and the leadership team, would be there with special programming, but I didn't realize how much they would be there and also how many of them would be there. So for example, one of the events that happened was the leadership talking more about Brilliant Lady and showing some of the redesigned spaces that they will have with even more seating in the roundabout area so that we can all enjoy the amazing ports that she will be going to. And we also got to geek out on events like Frank talking about dry dock. This was really cool. So when the ships are brought off the water for improvements, we got to learn things like an entire hole is cut out on the side of the ship to be able to, for Scarlet Lady, input all the new Rockstar rooms. It's really unique to see a lot of those behind the scenes. Or geeking out on the brand and listening to Billy talk about some of the campaigns that Virgin Voyages has done with Love From. And then a lot of the partners were there as well. Someone that I'm a huge fan of, Cynthia, was there doing different kinds of like postcard events, for example. That was really unique. She does a lot of the murals on the ship. And then I also loved seeing Yellowleaf. We all love the hammocks on Virgin Voyages. And so the Yellowleaf team flew in from Thailand in demonstration of creating the hammocks. That was really neat. Or even Intelligentsia Coffee was there to be kind of like your curator of coffee of the day and teaching you about coffee. That was really fun. Like so many of these, and these are just a couple, like all the programming. If you want to geek out on what it looks like, check the blog post in the description below because it will show you all the different types of events that happened on this sailing. And if you're listening to this thinking like, ooh, like, is it just these events that are happening on what about like the normal events? It's that plus some. So for example, of course, there was still bingo with the diva, but instead of just having a happenings cast member and the diva, we had Nathan, the CMO, participating as well and just elevating the experience. Or another example is the entire workout program was still there, but you had an opportunity to do yoga with Michelle, the COO. That was really fun. I don't really like to film people working out, so here's other footage, but you got an opportunity to do a lot of the, I don't want to call it normal, fun, standard programming, but with just a little bit of a twist with the Virgin team there as well. And another thing is they made a lot of the standard events a little bit more special. So the sailing club, the loyalty program for those who have sailed a lot with Virgin Voyages, it was a little bit extra. It was held in the manor instead of the usual at the perch with, now they were serving canapes and hors d'oeuvres, and they had the happenings cast there entertaining. Shout out to Magic Mike for, oh my gosh, his magic had me laughing so hard I was put to tears. Here is a interpretive dance of how I feel, or how John and I feel about Magic Mike's magic. It's amazing. They also did a private event for first mates, which was really nice, in which they had drinks as well as they had live music there. That was just a really special event. The leadership team was there to meet, greet, and thank all the first mates, which don't forget, I want you to book your sailing with us. JC might not be, well, we tried to dress him and show him how to dance, but whoa. Meatball and I are working on it. And if you were on this sailing, add your comments below. It's helpful for others to see your experience and how it was for you. And a shout out to everyone who booked their sailing and sailed with us. Don't forget, every time you're on the same sailing as me, and I'm on a lot of sailings, there's special events, there's special welcome gifts, there's all the things. So check the info in the description for more on that. The next highlight was Virgin Voyages gave us stuff, gave us a lot of stuff. And for some special people, oh my gosh, Nathan won 2 cruises. In other words, they had this special event in which they would hide secret boxes around the ship. And one of them was worth 500,000 Virgin Red points. So now there's a new announcement. A lot of announcements were made on this sailing. One of them being this tie with Virgin Hotels, Virgin Atlantic Airlines, and Virgin Voyages cruise to be able to have all your red points speak to each other and usable across the entire brand. And one of the guys that I got to meet found the box with the 500,000 points, which is redeemable for 2 voyages. That's amazing. Also, props to you for clocking in 5 miles running around the ship looking for the box, which he found in the back of the groupie. Nice job. And even if you didn't want to work for the stuff, they just gave you stuff. So there were fun little things in the room. These are just a couple examples, whether luggage tags or lotion or intelligentsia coffee in your room. They just did a lot of fun surprises all the time, which was really nice. And then there were things like trivia cards where you could enter to win if you learned more about some of the things Virgin Voyages is doing for Sea for Change. There is just a lot of fun things happening around the ship. We got 2 more highlights, and this next one was just about the vibe on board. It was really cool, and it says something, in my opinion, if crew is sailing as sailors. In other words, we had a lot of happenings cast who were not actively working, just sailing as sailors and enjoying themselves on this sailing. So shout out to Chris the Charmer. We got to hang out a lot. That was super fun. He will be on Valiant Lady later this year. Check him out. He's one of my favorite charmers. And Faith the Foodie was there. That was really awesome. But we also just saw a lot of longtime sailors there. And when you have people that just love Virgin Voyages all together on Virgin Voyages, it really just elevates the experience and makes it really fun, which I thought that this sailing would just be straight up wild, like party wild, because the unlimited drinks package was happening, but that ended up not being the case. So you can go check out that podcast if you'd like to, linked in the description below. But it was just an even more exciting and elevated experience than it normally is, just because so many people, longtime sailors, crew were there sailing and just excited to be there. It also meant for a lot of our sailors, and a lot of people think it means so much to me when I get to meet you all on the ship. A lot of first-time sailors just felt it's palpable. You could feel the excitement on the ship. So the vibe was really cool. And one thing that I heard a lot was a lot of sailors just being surprised about how approachable and cool the Virgin leadership team, or just the Virgin Voyages team, is. And so a lot of people were like, oh wow, I got to hang out and chat with fill in the blank, because I feel like not enough people even give me credit for just being a normal human being who wants to chill and hang out. And the Virgin Voyages team is exactly the same. And I have to give a shout out to Frank. Man, Frank could hang. You were at every single party, every night, doing the late night pizza. Oh man, Frank's the man. This final highlight, and then I'll talk about my own review of the sailing, I put as the last one because for some people it was their #1 highlight, and for others it was their #5 or the lowest highlight on their list. And that's Nicky Jam. For me, I was excited to see Nicky Jam. I love reggaeton. I was all about it. And I made sure I was there early, and he really did put on a good show. You know how sometimes you hear artists and so many things are so studio produced these days, and you're like, are they gonna be good, live? He was great. He put on an excellent show, and not only that, he had these badass dancers with him that were super exciting. And it just so happened that I thought I had set up for you guys to be able to get good footage in a great spot right next to the stage, but I didn't realize I was behind his VIP section. So it was actually kind of cool to be able to see his groupies, or the people he was traveling with, there enjoying his music. So anyway, I made sure to walk the ship and get you a ton of different angles, but Nicky Jam put on a really awesome show. On the final night, he performed at the pool. I thought they would cover the pool. They did a little bit of a different setup. You weren't allowed to go into the pool, but you could sit around the pool or stand around the pool, or like on Scarlet Night, be on 16 looking down. And you can see from this footage, like there were plenty of people there, but everyone could get a seat. And that's one of the things I just feel like these days with concerts, it's like you're elbows up trying to fight your way for a seat, and everyone could enjoy easily from wherever they were at. And I'm also putting this last because for a lot of people like me and others who were in the front around me, like, oh, this was the highlight of the sailing. But I will also say this was not as attended as the Scarlet Night pool party. And so for others, they were like, they don't know who Nicky Jam is. They came and checked it out for a little bit and then left. But the cool thing is it was available to everyone. You could get a seat or stand and see no matter where you were. And it was just a cool experience to be able to see Nicky Jam performing on Virgin Voyages. These are the 5 highlights of the Celebration Voyage. Again, if you were there or if you're considering next year's Celebration Voyage, add it in the comments below. I will be there. I already booked my sailing. I will be there in March 2026. Super excited for it to be on Brilliant Lady. Info about that sailing is in the description below, as well as on the full listing of all the sailings I'm on. I saved it to the end because not everyone cares about my opinion. So let's talk about my review of this sailing. So I would say it was about day 2, and this was a 5-night sailing on Valiant Lady. It was on day 2 that I turned to JC and was like, oh my gosh, like I gotta be sure to, like, let's make sure I'm on the March Celebration Voyage next year. And a lot of that just comes from there's so much excitement. Like, it's really fun to see all the people who love Virgin Voyages the most all come together. It just creates the exact vibe that is Virgin Voyages. And if you've never sailed before and you're listening to this, my feedback to Billy, I had told you I geeked out and went to the marketing and brand section about Virgin Voyages and some of their marketing campaigns. And I said, one of the things that I loved about the With Love From campaign, which was really around, part of it was around postcards, because there's so much nostalgia with that, is I was telling him, and I do a really bad job of this too, and a lot of people will come up to me, I love meeting you guys on the ship, a lot of people come up to me almost in tears telling me, you know, I really loved your videos, it really helped me to choose, you're the reason why I came, but you could not prepare me for what I felt. And that's something that, even though I love video and showing you guys what I see and what I experience and what you will experience, you can't feel it until you come, until you take that chance and you sail Virgin Voyages. And I was telling Billy, the marketing campaign's amazing, it's awesome, but it's really difficult to help people to understand. I have a hard time too, helping you to understand what you'll feel. And you definitely feel it on the Celebration Voyage. It's just the excitement is palpable. Everyone's there rocking their Happenings Cast pins, all of their Virgin Voyages gear. Basically everyone has had the Kool-Aid, and it's really fun to be there. And it's also really fun to just learn more of the context behind the brand, because there are so many cool stories that just don't get told. One example is I didn't know that the chef pushcar behind Another Rose on Resilient Lady, that special dinner menu, came from Nirmal, the CEO, loving to dine at Stage in South Florida, and met the chef, and that chef made that menu. So on his recommendation, I went to one of their locations and ate the same tuna bombs that they serve on Resilient Lady. That story will never get told, and no one will ever know. How they'll just see that price point of like, oh, $50 for dinner and a show. And it's like, yeah, well, you get unlimited bubbles plus cocktails included in that. And if you go get those tuna bombs on your own, they're $23. Anyway, I think you get the point. I'll also add, if you're on Valiant Lady anytime soon, This is the time to be on Valiant Lady. Why? There's so much good entertainment on the ship. I was so excited to see the magnets back. I love you, Ross. You're the best. All you guys are the best. I loved seeing Ty at Ship Show. He killed it as the host. So many amazing talent were there. Kiara's back at Ship Show performing as her, I don't even know what to call you, girlfriend, balloon bubble thing. DJ Leo and DJ Tosh, they did an amazing job. New DJs are on board now though. But the current Happenings cast, I'm a huge fan of. AJ is back on board, love him. Really enjoyed meeting Magic Mike for the first time, and I want to say thank you to all of you who have been messaging me so much about him. He exceeded the hype. I was like, oh man, you guys hyped him a lot. I don't know about this one, but it was so good. I don't just like to talk about the highlights, so let's talk about the lowlights, which is this sailing did not start well. We had rain in Miami. It was kind of a sad day, and so the sail away party was pushed indoors. And it's not the end of the world, but any sail away party that is pushed indoors is definitely not the same experience as outdoors, which is why if it rains during your sail away, you gotta come back. Just come back, do it over again. We all come back. And so the sail away party was, I don't know, wasn't as exciting indoors, but at the same time, people still turned up. It was really fun. DJ Leo was DJing and I was dancing. It was still a really fun time, but the weather on the first night wasn't the best. By the time pajama party came around, it was better. It was actually probably one of the best pajama parties I've been to. Tosh kept me on the dance floor the whole time. Normally we show up for the first part, let them sing, eat the cookies, and then we leave. But I could not stop dancing. That was super fun. And in general, we just had beautiful sailing thereafter. Really smooth water. And of the 19 times I've been to Bimini, it was one of the top 3 prettiest days I've seen there. And to be honest, the best part of this sailing was, at least for me, I got engaged. I'm still in shock by it. Meatball, you wanna know what Meatball plans? Meatball plans to go to the bar to get some drinks for me and him and anybody that's around. Meatball loves buying people drinks. That's as far as his planning goes. So for him to pull off in the middle of the Misbehave show, a proposal that I did not expect. I understand why my nails shouldn't be pink and 3 weeks old. I understand now why when he had asked my family for permission, my sister gave me a dress he wanted me to wear that night. And I was like, no, we're going to pajama party afterwards. Why would I wear that beautiful red dress? And he's like, oh, maybe you should wear it. And I'm like, no. He's like, maybe you should get your nails done. And I'm like, no. And he's like, maybe you should. And I'm like, no, because I just don't really listen to him. But I'll link the social post below in case you missed it. It was thank you to everyone on the sailing who congratulated us, who were just there. It was really, really special. So thank you. That was the Celebration Voyage. I'm Christine Lozada. If you were there, add it in the comments below. If you're sailing next year's Celebration Voyage, I want to know about it. Tell me in the comments. Book your sailing with us. Be a smart traveler, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.